What if I told you that the biggest threat to men over 40 is not aging, it's not stress, it's not business, it's neglect. And the neglect I'm talking about is the neglect of your body. Yes, your body. I'd like to share with you the true story from my life. And I want you to picture this scene. Army barracks, winter, steel gate, a brutal winter morning, snow, cold ice, and I think it was below 20 degrees. And all I could think about was finding warmth. And then for some reason I look above the gate and one sentence that shaped my entire life. Sweat saves blood. It was at 3 a.m. in the morning, Special Forces training. We were young, confident, and foolish enough to think we understood hardship. Then, drill instructor looked at us and said, "Gentlemen, repetition will not make you perfect. It will make you permanent." And that night, our warm-up was 25-kilometer march with 35 kilos of our gear. It wasn't physical training, it was behavioral reconstruction. And it was my first real lesson in what's so called today, and tactical fitness. That's correct. Today, decades later, that lesson has become more relevant than ever, especially for every man watching this who is over 40. Because what destroyed us today isn't war, isn't the enemy. It's the slow, silent decline we don't see coming. Welcome back to Life, the battlefield, all of you truth seekers and risk takers. Those who don't know me, my name is Bekes, and I'm a Special Forces trained military man. I spent 1,800 consecutive combat days in war and diplomatic intelligence operations. I'm as well Guinness World Record holder for the longest audio broadcast in history. And this podcast doesn't talk about trends. Here we talk about methods, about pressure, stress, readiness, and capability. And today we are going deep into something most men over 40 ignore. And that's called tactical fitness. Tactical fitness that kept me alive in Warren at 53. And this episode is not about muscles. Muscles you can do you in your local gym. We talk about this a little bit later. I'm giving you my knowledge, my experience, my life, forged in military trainings, in war, in combat. I'm 53 years old man and I have 0 pills and perfect health. Yes, I gained some weight. Who wouldn't gain the weight? But I lost almost 20 kilos in the last 12 months. I pushed myself because I realized that I'm slowly dying. And this episode is not about muscle. It's about readiness, resilience, and the truth every man must face. What is that? Sweat saves blood, and health saves future. I always have this saying, I'd rather be the oldest guy in the gym, than youngest guy in ER. It goes without saying that we live in a world that is faster, louder, and more demanding than ever. And social media amplifies insecurity. Coaches and guru talks endlessly about success, funnels, mindsets, strategy, but almost none talk about the one asset every goal depends on: your health. What I learned in the military? In the military, health wasn't optional. It wasn't motivational wallpaper. It was a strategic priority. You cannot lead a mission, a team, or family if you cannot lead your own body. But in the corporate world, oh guys, let's go sit in nice comfy chairs. We have the beautiful cubicle. Some people lucky have the office. We go for lunch about 12 o'clock in a local food court. Maybe we are lucky, client takes us for the nice, surf and turf with a glass of wine. Then we're going home, eat again. I know, I've been there, guys. I've been there, done that. Men build businesses on collapsing foundations. Now, let me tell you something very uncomfortable but true. You cannot run a business on failing body. You cannot manage stress with a weak foundation. You cannot lead with clarity if you are physically declining. That is why I return not out of nostalgia, but out of necessity to tactical fitness. I reached pinnacle of my madness, 138 kilos, lying myself every single day that I'm okay. When I realized I couldn't even bend and do my shoelaces anymore. And I think myself like, what I'm doing here? I wasn't like this ever before. I just becoming the part of that vicious corporate cycle. Eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, work. To continue, you ask yourself, what is tactical fitness? It goes without saying. You can check this on YouTube. There's many people talking about tactical fitness. There's a lot of fitness guru, health gurus, whatever they are. I don't care. I respect the man who trained as I did in military, special forces, special operations, and sort of those things. Let me define for you what tactical fitness it is. It's not glamour. It's not a gym trend, and it's not 12-week shred program. Forget it. Tactical fitness was built for professions where failure is fatal. Military, police, paramedics, firefighters. It is performance under pressure. It is readiness under chaos. It builds functional strength, cardiovascular resilience, mobility, reaction speed, the ability to perform under physical and psychological stress. It creates the hybrid athlete, the man or woman who can carry weight, run long distances, sprint explosively, climb, jump, push, drag, operate while exhausted, and think clearly under pressure. This is capability, not cosmetic. And for men over 40, capability is the difference between injury or independence, burnout or resilience, decline or longevity, fear or confidence. Or you will collapse or survive. I'm not a doctor, by no any means. I can't talk about medical conditions. I can't talk about diagnosis or therapies. I will not do this. This podcast is founded on facts. So I'm talking to my life experience, what I was trained, what I know. So there's no opinions. If you need medical condition to be established with you, or you need to be checked by a doctor, you need to go to GP. But wherever you open any medical journal, even Dr. Google, the holy grail of the knowledge, it goes without saying that at 40, testosterone drops. That's it. Boom. Doesn't matter how good you're looking or not. Testosterone drops. Recovery slows. Joint complaints. And stress become chronic. I'm 53. At 50, I have noticed that its decline accelerates. But the most dangerous decline it is? It's not physical. It's behavioral. Men stop training with purpose. They stop being challenged. They stop maintaining capabilities. They sacrifice health for business, family, stress, and convenience. But here is a paradox every man must face. When life becomes heavier, your body must become stronger. That is why tactical fitness matters more at 40 than it did at 20. Let me just share with you what my friend, this lady, she's a professor, medical professor, and she told me that her patients paying the tremendous amount of money for her to buy them more time in life, because what they did, they sacrificed health and time for money. Now, when they are very rich, very successful people, they want to give all money away to get health back. It doesn't work that way. When I walk in my gym, I admire these guys. They train 4 o'clock in the morning with me. I'm the oldest guy in the gym. I am. My son is at 23. When he walks ahead of me, I know, I'm proud of seeing him. He's pushing himself. He wants to grow. But one thing I was always being offered my entire life. I used to be smoke, I used to be drink, but I used to be taking as well the steroids. I did. When I was 21 in military, particularly during war, we've been exposed to some type of substances given by our doctor, not to sleep, to be stronger, list goes on. But in today's society, for the men above 40, there is a culture. It's called the TRT shortcut, testosterone replacement therapy. And when you see the guy in the 40s and 50s and 60s, picking with their muscles, the veins jumping out, it's TRT. Because guys, if you don't believe me, take any book about human body and you will see it that the male body after 40 declining. I just mentioned this to you. That TRT culture, shortcuts are everywhere. You can walk to GP clinic today and say, "Doc, I'm tired, I'm older, I want to feel strong." You walk out with TRT. For some men, TRT is medically justified. For many, it's a simple, a polite shortcut. But why not? Everybody loves to look good, everybody loves to look muscly, to be admired, to be looked at. But what people forgot, and I learned this hard way in my 20s, shortcut that gives strength but not capability. A shortcut that gives confidence but not resilience. TRT shortcut makes you feel younger, but removes the discipline that keeps you alive. Tactical fitness does the opposite. It demands structure, it demands purpose, it demands responsibility. Every man over 40 must train with these 5 pillars. I'm gonna share this with you because that's what we've been introduced in military. Later on when I was working special forces, there was a 5 pillars. Number 1, functional strength is lifting, carrying, pushing, pulling, strength that protects joints and independence. Then you have an aerobic and anaerobic endurance lasts longer, recover faster, protect heart, brain, metabolism. Pillar number 3 is conditioning. Your cardiovascular system must perform under stress, not only at rest. Number 4, it's a power and agility. You need to work on explosive movements and reaction speed decline faster after 40. Either you train it or you lose it. I'm 53, I'm still doing boxing, I'm competing in my boxing, and it's hard. Let me tell you guys, it's difficult, it's challenging. I want to scream sometimes. But you know what? My coach adapted training for my age, for my weight, but I am doing explosive movements. And pillar number 5, very important, it's a stress performance. Life will put you under pressure. It will. And tactical fitness prepares your mind and body to operate in chaos, in combat, and in corporate life. This is not training for looks. It's training for survival, capability, and longevity. As I mentioned, I'm 53 and I'm still competing in boxing. And now I train harder now than I did at 25. I go to doctor only twice a year because this body is maintained, not medicated. I go to the doctor for the one simple reason. I need to get a stamp in my blue book, which is for the medical board of the Boxing Association government body here in Australia. You need to have the blue book, which pronounce you and clarify and give you the credits and everything else you need to can fight in boxing. Basically, fitness and medical. So you need to be fit, fitness-wise, and medically you need to be clean so you can compete in boxing. So at 25, I was doing and following those 5 pillars. But now at 53, I'm competing because I know if I train for competition, I'm using all these 5 pillars. No muscles anymore, guys. I want to walk longer. I want to run longer. I want to endure the chaos. I want to endure the stress. I want to be in position I can pull more, push more. Muscles don't give you that thing. It doesn't work that way. As I say, I go twice a year to doctor. So when I do my medicals, he takes my blood. He does all these, medical exams in his surgery. ECG, the lungs and everything else. He says, Mario, see you in 6 months' time if you need blue book. And that's it. You know why? Because tactical fitness gave me something modern men rarely talk about. Identity, purpose, readiness, control. Remember, sweat still saves blood. Not just in war, but in life. The world is demanding. Stress is rising. Business pressure is relentless. Aging is unavoidable. We all gonna age. And I always say this. I'm not proud to say this. I remember when I was in my 20, 21, 22, I remember the guys in reserve army, they were 30 plus years old. We called them old. I never believed that one day I'm gonna age. And that biggest BS, you need to die young, live full life. It doesn't make sense at all. But what's the reality? Decline. Decline is a choice. It's your choice. But tactical fitness is not about war. It's about living, leading, surviving, and protecting the only asset your future depends on, your body. Every man over 40 needs to hear what my drill instructor told me at 3 a.m. Repetition makes you permanent, and sweat saves blood. Health saves future. Guys, all I can share with you is this. Stay ready, stay capable, stay permanent. Because if you are not, somebody else will be there who's gonna make it sure to take away from you what is yours. Thank you for joining me on Life the Battlefield. And remember, life will test you, pressure will expose you, and discipline will save you. You are stronger than your excuses, tougher than your circumstances, and your future is built by the choices you make today and not tomorrow. Now, if this episode gave you clarity, share it with someone standing on their own battlefield. Stay safe, stay disciplined, as always, be seen, be heard, and be known. Let me now know in the comment section, how do you keeping your body in shape? Thank you for watching.